Today's Wednesday, March 11th, 2015, and you're tuned into the Elevator Radio Show. The Elevator Radio Show is a proud supporter of the Elevator Escalator Safety Foundation. To find out how you can make a difference, visit their website today at www.eesf.org. Hey, everybody, got a good show for you today, so stay tuned. Here it comes.
You're tuned in to the Elevator Radio Show, a weekly program dedicated to covering news and information on elevators, escalators, and moving walkways. Produced in the wee hours of the morning, a new show is uploaded every Wednesday, sometimes even before you get out of bed. Listen to some of the comments sent in from our audience.
Rob from New York writes, Tom, are you f***ing insane? You actually get up at 2 a.m. each Wednesday to put this show out? Man, you must love elevators. Tim from Illinois writes, I'm not sure why I listen, but ever since I tuned into the first show back in 2007, I've been addicted. Matt in Texas writes, I like your safety messages, Tom. It's important to remember them each and every day. And he also adds,
when am I going to win the monthly prize pack giveaway?
Ron from California sent this in. Despite your inability to pronounce words in the English language, I tune in each week and am glad that you offer this service to the industry. It's better than Google News alerts. Sarah from Washington writes, love the show, Tom, and look forward to it each week. I'm glad I signed up for the newsletter. You provide a valuable resource for the industry, not only for North America, but worldwide.
Enjoy the show. And now, here's your sleep-deprived host, Tom Seibert.
Thank you. Yes, thank you, everybody. Sleep deprived is absolutely correct on that. It is good to be here this Wednesday, March 11th, where, if you can believe it, the snow outside is almost gone. We have had some awesome weather. I would like to take credit for bringing it back from the Elevator Escalator Safety Foundation meeting last week, but I don't think that's quite how it works in terms of bringing warm weather anywhere you want to take it. But anyway, yeah, it's a crazy how within literally like 4 days, the snow is almost all gone. I hope that in Boston, you guys are going to see that same type of rapid retrieval and disappearance of the snow that is stacked so high amongst your city streets and corners and whatnot, but hopefully it doesn't happen all that too quickly, because you can deal with some massive flooding issues, which I'm sure will be a whole new, bring a whole new dynamic to your fight with Mother Nature. So anyway, it's good to be here this Wednesday morning. I did not do a show last week, as many of you already know and are aware of, because I was at the annual general meeting for the Elevator Escalator Safety Foundation, which I really enjoyed. As I recapped or noted in my blog post, it's one of those things where headed into it, you kind of dread it a little bit, like any kind of event you're traveling to. It could even be vacation, trying to get there. But once you're there, it's just great to network and talk with those who came out, the board members. I just can't say enough good things about everybody who attended on their own dime to help the foundation grow and become a better entity in how we deliver the mission of the foundation. So I had a great time. Thank you. I want to thank Allison Whitaker. I want to thank Cornelius Walls, also John Koshak. I'm trying to think who else went off the board. I know there's a few others that are on the list, and I apologize I don't have it in front of me, but thanks for all of your commitment and dedication to the foundation, and we wish you well. We hope that you stay involved, and as always, just a good meeting, and I'll kind of get into some of the comments later on in terms of that. Anyway, but we're back. We are back in warmer weather, ready for spring. The time zones had not changed, but we've turned our clocks ahead, meaning spring is hopefully closer than we all think, and that's a good thing. So anyway, good to be here. Gonna get into. I just wanted to read one email comment that was sent, not an email comment, but a press release that was sent, and I think is pretty important to cover. And in terms of the other emails, thanks for sending a lot of the article links, and I appreciate everybody who did so. We have quite a few people who have old elevators looking for assistance with those, and I'll try to get back to you to those of you out there that are in need of some assistance. But really, I'm not the foremost person to contact when it comes to that. Really, contact your local elevator contractor or consultant. That's your best bet in ensuring that you're getting the right type of equipment and whatnot. Good source to do that is if you're in the United States, the NAAC.org has got a great database of contractors you can find. Also in Canada, SECA, Canadian Elevator Contractors Association. That's a good source to find as well. And if you're in another country, I don't know how you find them. Just basically look online and see what you can locate. But this is pretty exciting. Elevator World provides continuing education to Illinois. This just happened and was approved last week, which is great. The state of Illinois has added Elevator World Incorporated as a approved continuing education provider, joining Florida, Kentucky, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Georgia, Alabama, Virginia, Washington, and more recently Wisconsin, Arkansas, Montana, and Indiana. Elevator World representatives presented the company's CE program and materials to the March 5th Illinois Elevator Safety Review Board meeting, where it was approved for 6 hours of continuing education credit, which is pretty cool. So it's becoming increasingly a little bit easier to get your continuing education credits. So if you need those, check those out. I do have a link in the show notes that kind of links into the continuing education stuff. And yeah, good job, Elevator World, for getting that passed. Not passed, but will pass by the Illinois board. So that's great. If you have an email, press release, comment, question, concern, send it to elevatorradioshow@gmail.com, and I will get back to you as quickly as I can. Just one side note, too. I was approached during the annual general meeting in Tampa regarding some of the commentary I had provided on an article that was on a previous show, and originally I really didn't, I was like, I don't know what I really said, but just as a reminder, my comments and my point of view is not necessarily 100% accurate. I don't always have the details, so and a lot of times my intention is not to assume one way or another, but in some cases, the back of my mind, it's hard not to. So just remember, as you're reading these articles online, or listening to me comment on them, it's all somewhat speculation, and the key word here is alleged or whatever. And if if you have more information you'd like to share on any of these articles that I may have incorrectly commented on or spoken about, please feel free to share those with me, because I know a lot of you out there are aware or are directly involved with some of these cases. I promise I will not say who said it. You can basically, in the past, those of you who have preferred to be anonymous, it's really easy to do. All you have to do is say, please do not share my name or my email address, and I'll say it's from Homer Simpson. It's as easy as that. We've been doing it for quite some time, and I promise to protect your anonymity. I don't know, it's not quite how you say it, but anyway, so yeah, go ahead and do that. And again, just remember, comments that I share are not necessarily those that are related to any association or affiliation I deal with, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And love to hear from you on anything that you might have. So up next, we'll get right into the news. And as always, send your emails to elevatorradioshow@gmail.com.
Let this week's news stories give you a lift on what's happening in the vertical transportation arena. Each news segment is organically dug and fresh with news stories of the week. Got lift? If not, stay tuned.
All right, first news article or link of the program is the CET Certified Elevator Technician Program. Again, I'm not 100% sure if there are other links, and this is where my knowledge kind of ceases me, because I'm not a certified elevator technician, nor do I pretend to be one on TV. But yeah, elevatorbooks.com has a link here regarding how to become a certified elevator technician. I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to get more clarification on this in terms of what is required, or the 6 hours of credit that are available through Elevator World, and we'll see if we can't bring that to you next week. But Elevator World's got some great resources over there. I encourage you to check out. Okay, next article, Elevator World Unplugged has a blog post talking about the article we linked up 2 weeks ago concerning the retired escalator worker who basically has some pretty serious photographs here, and terrifying, which is a clear reminder of the importance of the Elevator Escalator Safety Foundation, and also ensuring that we're all riding this equipment safe and we're spreading the word. Because look at this photo. This is a boot that's like pulled into the side of an escalator, and the reality is that riding escalators and elevators is not something that you and I thinks, as you and I know, it's common sense to some degree. It's not always the case. So it's important that we share the message with anybody we see improperly riding or using escalators or elevators, that the equipment must be treated with respect, and that way we can avoid things like this happening. So, and thanks to Elevator World for plugging that or reposting and commenting on it, because it links directly to the ESF. Okay, serious accident up in Canada. Not good at all, very terrifying to some degree. Ottawa senior's legs amputated after crushed in elevator. Now the details are somewhat sketchy. It appears that Ted Stevens, a retired Presbyterian minister in his 80s, had to have both his legs amputated after they were crushed in an elevator at his senior's residence Tuesday morning. Apparently, emergency crews were called at 8:16 a.m. for the elevator malfunction and discovered the elderly man trapped. They'd used Jaws life to extract him. Man. Yikes. It's my word for today. This is awful, and obviously some catastrophic issue occurred on this. Hopefully we'll learn a little bit more about it so that we can ensure that something like this doesn't happen before again. But man, I've not seen an article or an accident like this for a very, very long time. Somebody posted on online that it was an Armour elevator, so hopefully we, like I said, learn a little bit more about this. Anybody involved directly with it, love to hear from you. Next article is actually a YouTube video. I'm not going to play it because it's going to blast your ears off, I'm sure, but it's a pretty funny video where somebody, I don't know if they're sociologists or psychologists, went into an elevator and hooked up this speaker system that also went into the elevator button, so when you pressed it, it would tell you either you're lazy or fat, you should take the stairs, in two different voices, a nice one and a rude one. And apparently people like to be talked to rudely, because that was the voice that made more people get off of the elevator after they pressed the floor 2 button and take the stairs. So yeah, it's, if you can use the stairs, use the stairs. We're all supersizing the calories we ingest every day. Why not burn some of those off in our daily habits? And I encourage that as well. And yeah, it's crazy. Get another post over on Elevator World. It's pretty cool. There's a photo here. It's called a UFO unidentified floating object, and it looks kind of crazy. It looks like a bridge, but apparently what this is in Mobile. It's a boat elevator lift or a vessel lift that's being delivered to I think a dry dock there. So if you take a look at the photo, this is pretty impressive to see the engineering that went into this, and this will allow boats to be lifted up. Although I wonder how they're going to attach it to get underneath a lift to do so. It's pretty ingenious, to be honest with you. Pretty cool. Love to learn a little bit more about it. Yeah, look at this photo. It's actually not for a dry lift. It's actually it's a floating it's a floating elevator for a boat. Interesting. I wonder if the boat floats in there and it goes. Anyway, check it out. Link is in the show notes. If you have more information on it you'd like to share, I'd love to hear from you. Okay, SANS suspected an elevator entrapment. Love this. Don't see too many articles about this, which either A, means that it is a slow news day here in wherever this is at, or B, it's just slow news day. That's all I can say. Brainerd Dispatch indicating that after being stalled in an elevator, it was discovered that sand in the door track, had caused the entrapment to occur. So 15 to 20 minutes, apparently they were okay. Anyway, not a big deal. But just as a reminder, yeah, in areas where sand is everywhere, it's probably going to get into the equipment. It'll probably wreck it, bottom line. So anyway. Okay, Elevator Escalator Safety Foundation AGM recap from their website. And if you haven't already subscribed to the blog or their website, I encourage you to do so. Or their email list, just click on subscribe. But Nicole Road, ESFC just wrapped up an amazing, energetic, fun-filled annual general membership meeting in Tampa, Florida. We're so excited to share our planning for 2015, along with provide our membership and board with updates and a recap of 2014. So these are new officers, and also we welcome members at large: Ken Garsh, Sasha Bailey, Matt Pike, Tracy Fackler. So very cool, and thanks to the sponsors, Ardessa, PTL, CJ Anderson & Company, Draka, Prisma Cables, the Peely Company, Allstate, the Morolla Agency, Elevator World, Great Lakes Elevator Service, and MEI Total Elevator Solutions. So thanks for that. Great meeting. Awesome to get the input from our new and older board members, and we are on the right track moving forward. Very exciting. Elevator Riders Riding Club has a nice little recap and some cool videos from Glenn's trip to the Elevator Escalator Safety Foundation meeting as well. Glenn, it was great to have you there. I'm glad you got a chance to get recharged and also out, riding the bike, which is pretty cool. So look at that. Got a photograph. I can't imagine a better place to ride, and hopefully the weather turns really quickly so that you can get out and enjoy that more often. So, okay, WMATA escalators are in the news again under the Washington Post. Broken escalator at DuPont Circle Metro Station causes problems. Again, anytime you got an escalator, an elevator, and a transit system, you're going to have to you're going to be battling, the equipment and those that ride it a lot. So next article was from ABC7 Channel News. DuPont Circle Metro escalator still facing issues after $12 million fix. They're always going to face issues. I mean, they're in the general riding public. So anyway, and the more that they're in the news, typically the more they send money or that way to try to fix it or send it that way. And I assume that probably what will happen in this case is that the equipment will be on hand, so that if this happens again, they'll have equipment to replace it out. So anyway, yeah. Okay, Newark's Four Quarters Millennium Project in New Jersey. There's a project, beautiful building here. Man, it's amazing what architects are able to do. This is going to be a 22-story apartment building with 224 units. And it will be a flagship type building for Newark in New Jersey, which is pretty slick. Just as a side note, I was at a meeting Saturday at a condo, one of those new green type condo buildings. You know what I mean? It's crazy. They literally put bamboo wallpaper on everything just so it, quote, look green. And when we got to one of the offices, I'm like, I asked the woman who we were seeing, I said, is this a real bamboo door? And I'm looking at the the door jamb edge, and it said, you underwriter lavatory, and it was a metal door or whatever. I'm like, man, it seems like such a scam to, quote, consider some of the buildings today, quote, green. When you look at them. But what was even more concerning to me was that there were only 2 elevators in the building, and the building was probably about 5 years old. And I'm like, wow. And it's a big building. So I'm like, that does not seem like enough. And I'm like, man, do you got a freight elevator or anything? And they're like, no, we don't have anything, just 2 elevators. I'm like, ooh, I hope they never break down. And they were it looked like they were proprietary to some degree in terms of being worked on. So I was like, something I will look at if I ever move into a condo. Okay. Yikes, this next one is just awful. The Shanghaiist, which is one of the website offshoots from the Metroist and the Chicagoist, whatever, but apparently in Shanghai, 56-year-old woman was found dead with head injuries after reportedly getting stuck between the doors of an elevator and her apartment on Sunday. Ouch. Look at the photo of this thing. Man. I'm so glad I live in the United States of America. It may not be perfect here, but holy crud. I mean, something obviously went really, really wrong on this elevator, and it should never happen ever again. Next article, AlJazeeraAmerica.com posting. I always thought they were I guess they're a news group. This is an interesting article, opinion piece, linking the ThyssenKrupp sideways up and down elevator to Harry Potter and the elevators that were shown in their movie. I guess that's a pretty unique correlation. But anyway, it's just mainly an opinion piece. Encourage you to check that out at your leisure. BART opens escalator canopy. They had a ribbon cutting ceremony on Friday. I don't know if it was this past Friday or not. Close the ad. Kind of a cool looking system here, and hopefully it will keep the elements out of off the escalator and away from the equipment, so it runs more reliably. But yeah, it's amazing how much this stuff costs. $2 million pilot project. If this works, they'll probably do more of them, I'm assuming. So anyway, okay, next news article. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, shut down escalators back shut down escalators get back in service after action in capital. This is in Sweden. The local.se reporting. Commuters in Stockholm have welcomed the return to action of 3 escalators in the capital's underground system, bringing to a partial and 3-week escalator shutdown prompted by a serious accident. Let's see. Kind of scary again. Makes me appreciate living in the United States. The 3 escalators at the underground station were set to return to action on Sunday night. Our manufacturers have installed beams with special sensors under all the steps, so if one steps off, like the accident that happened, cannot fall down. So this is in regards to a woman who had actually fallen through an escalator step, and apparently she was, I don't know if she died or what. Man. No, I'm sorry. I'm trying to find it here. It does not say. Oh, she injured her leg. Okay, Valentine's Day. Kind of scary, yeah. You should have some kind of missing step detector on the units. So always good to do that. But yeah, that's kind of scary. Okay, next article. Hey, I was not aware that mechanics this is not even posting up. I wonder if it got taken down prematurely. I'll see if I can link this back up once I find it. But apparently, watch the video. I don't think the video really is all that great because they're basically citing the fact that they seem and appear to be linking elevator entrapments with the fact that mechanics are not licensed in the state or city of New York, and I don't think that's necessarily the case. That's my own opinion. But I was not aware that they were not licensed in the state of New York, and put a post up in a forum just to get their input on what they think, and we'll see what they have to say. But I'll link that up if you are watching the show before, or listening or whatever the program before. You check it out. Just Google it, and you should be able to find it. And I'll see if I can't get that linked up. But yeah, I was surprised. It looks like it's already passed legislation, but it just hasn't gone all the way through. I'm not sure why. So, Diesel Ducey's got a cool video on a freight elevator mod at Virginia Tech. I'm not going to play that because it's going to play an ad, but you can go ahead and check that in the link. Fixing the broken elevator at Penn Station in New York will take weeks. Escalator fix will take weeks. Amtrak City's scope a mechanical overhaul. Wall Street Journal reporting that for 50 years it has whisked computers of visitors from Penn Station up and into the streets of New York City, saving them for a few steps of their journey. Now the escalator at 7th Avenue has been broken for weeks and won't be fixed until spring, an eternity for anyone not disabled or carrying luggage or adverse to climbing stairs. You know what? Use the elevator if there's one there. How about that? And shouldn't have luggage on your escalator. So anyway, 50 years, pretty good track record, huh? Speaking of which, I love getting phone calls in my day job where somebody's going, "Hey, thing's been installed for 10 or 15 years, and is there any easy fix to make it work?" And say, how about replace it? How about do some maintenance on it? But no, never. it never ceases to amaze me. The kind of questions and stuff we get. Okay, real serious accident that occurred in Honduras. Apparently, this is being reported by the Jamaican Observer. Jamaica's under-17 soccer team was injured in a freak elevator accident while attending a tournament in Honduras. Apparently, several of the team's players were injured in an elevator accident at the Hilton Princess Hotel in San Pedro Sula, Honduras. Apparently, they are describing the incident that occurred when they boarded the elevator at the 3rd floor before it crashed past the destination on the ground floor and ended up in extreme bottom in the parking lot. Ooh, man, that's scary. Again, another reason why it may not be perfect here in the United States or North America, but it is much better than in Honduras in terms of inspections and whatnot. So, okay, in Ireland, and then we are fast approaching St. Paddy's Day, which for those of you out there who are looking forward to that, that'll be next Tuesday if you need to get some Guinness or whatnot. So apparently wheelchair user 82 suing Irish Rail after fall on train escalator. And this is relating out, when you read the title of this, you go, what? But apparently it relates a little bit more to that because it is related to the fact that the escalator or the elevator was out of order. So this person on a wheelchair attempted to use the escalator and fell and broke some lungs and basically had a collapsed lung, which not a good outcome. But I think most transit systems, I know this is out of the country or out of North America, when this kind of thing happens, services are provided so that people can be moved up and down if the elevator's not working. So anyway, in the last news article of the show, man loses pants in escalator mishap at rail station in Boston. Apparently, let's see here. There was an incident Thursday morning happened at Davis Station in Somerville. It was the second escalator mishap involving clothing on the T in 2 days. The man whose pants got stuck in the escalator wasn't hurt. Fellow commuters say he was left standing in blue shorts while his pants were stuck in the bottom of the escalator. Yeah. Watch your loose-fitting clothing. Check everything before you get onto an escalator. I think if we have to come up with some system that warns people or lets them know before they get onto an escalator, it might be the best way of doing it. And MBTA officials are urging escalator riders to be mindful of loose clothing. Again, this is a article that I'd love to see. The Elevator Escalator Safety Foundation, linked with it, because we've got a whole bunch of good ideas on how to prevent injuries by riding the equipment safely and making sure you're aware of basically what you're wearing, your surroundings and whatnot. So, but that's going to do it, everybody. Nice and quick. Quite a few articles, but we seem to cruise right through them. As always, thanks for tuning into the program. It has been my absolute pleasure to bring you the show today. If you enjoyed it, please please share it with your friends, families, enemies, colleagues, lovers, whatever, and spread the word. And that's about it. So everybody have a great rest of the week. Be careful out there. Be safe. Remember, safety is your number one priority with those you work with and those who you, the equipment you're on. And make sure you go home each and every night to your family because they love you, even though you might not think they do. But they probably do. Anyway, all right, everybody, take care. We'll talk to you next Wednesday. Bye-bye.